What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are finally going to be painting the Supra. We got all of the wide body kit parts inside the booth and we are ready to go. So I'm going to take you inside, show you how we have it all laid out, and then we're going to get started right away. I don't want to waste any time on this, so let's go. Alright guys, so we're in the booth here. As you can see, we got all of the fans hooked up. We got all of the lights turned on. Everything in here is working perfectly. There's a pretty good draft coming through this entire booth. I have the entire thing hooked up to this remote. So as you can see, one click of the button, the entire booth turns off. So click on, and there it is. I got everything laid out pretty flat here. I got some of the side skirt pieces here, some of the over fender pieces here, I guess over bumper extension, whatever you want to call it. We got some of the over fender pieces, over hood pieces, over fender pieces, rear bumper extensions, and then rear quarter extensions. So everything's laid out. I think we're gonna have plenty of room. I'm basically just gonna walk through the center of each table, spray them, get all the way around every single piece. We're gonna make sure everything gets covered really well. We're gonna do one coat of sealer, 2 coats of base, and then 2 coats of clear, and maybe a third if I think it's going to be necessary, because I want to have a little bit extra just in case we do end up cutting and buffing this, which we probably will, but we'll see. So without any further ado, we're going to get the paint mixed and we're going to jump right into this booth. I'll show you the gun I'm using too. I got it's basically like a 3-in-1. The gun sprays everything. I don't have it with me, it's inside the room, but I'll grab that and show you. It's a 3M performance gun. It comes with all the different tip sizes, so you can basically pick and choose whatever you want to spray through it. We're going to be using the 1.3 and the 1.2. The 1.3 is going to be for sealer and base coat, and then the 1.2 is going to be for clear. From the research I did on this gun, I'm basically going to be running the pressure at about 25 to 27 pounds for the base coat, and then we're going to maybe kick it up between 27 and 29 pounds for the clear coat. So we'll see how it starts spraying. Like I mentioned in my last video where I actually built this booth, this is my first time painting, so it's gonna be a learning experience. So we're gonna learn as we go. I'm gonna do a little bit of test spraying here just to get the fan dialed in, make sure the fluid's all the way open, and then we'll just see. So let's get started. Alright guys, so we just got the gun set up. This is the 3M performance gun I was talking about. This is the 1.3 tip. I'm going to be spraying at about 25-ish PSI. We'll see how that goes, and then we'll adjust it if we have to. But we're basically just going to tack everything down, go all the way around the booth, and once everything's tacked down, we're just going to start spraying. So this is our sealer coat. We're going to start with this and then go from there. Alright guys, we just laid down the sealer. Everything went really well. I don't think I can spin this on my phone. As you can see, it's all pretty smooth. I don't think we're gonna have any issues with it, but I'm breathing a bunch of fumes, so I'm gonna get out of here and then we'll spray the next one. But the booth so far is performing excellent. Still have a ton of visibility, so I think it's a win. Guys, so I just stepped outside for a second to get some fresh air, and I gotta say the base coat laid down pretty good. There's a little bit of trash, nothing much. What I think I'm gonna do is give it about 30 minutes to dry, and then I'll hit it with some like 1000 grit, just really light scuff, just to make sure the base coat is as smooth as possible for the clear coat. There's a Supra just sitting there waiting for the body kit. I got my Mustang here too. Got a pretty big project plan for that coming up, so if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right guys, so we just got our clear mix. We're about to spray down 2 coats of this and we'll see how it turns out. So far, everything's looking pretty good. The booth's working really well. As you can see, all the filters sucking all that overspray up, no problem. So let's get this clear spray down and see what happens. Alright guys, so it is the next day here. I already took a look at some of the parts, and I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of myself. For my first paint job ever, it turned out pretty good, not gonna lie. But there are some minor imperfections that I'm gonna have to fix, of course, and I'll show you what those are, and I'll show you what I think could have avoided those or corrected them. But I already put a couple of the pieces on the car just to give you a little sneak peek. But let's head in the booth, I'll show you the rest of them. Alright guys, so here are the rest of the parts. As you can see, the finish is actually pretty damn good, I'm not gonna lie. There is a few minor imperfections. Let me see here, like on this piece here, it's hard to see, I don't even know if it'll focus. It's not gonna do it. There's a, it doesn't really want to focus on it, but there is like a scratch mark or two that I missed, I think, when I was doing the final. But overall, I mean, the paint's a dead on match. Use PPG paints, that's excellent. Let me show you this other part over here. As you can see, looking pretty good. The orange peel is like almost factory. The 3M performance gun performed really well. I was really impressed by it. It was pretty easy to use, actually. A lot of the reviews I saw said it's more of an advanced gun. I didn't think so. After doing my research and finding out what pressures I needed, it seemed to lay down the paint pretty smooth. I heard a lot of people say that you need a big compressor to run it too. I have a 60-gallon Husky compressor. It seemed to perform no problem. But what we're gonna do now is throw the rest of these pieces on the car. I'll also show you the hardware, the beauty hardware I'm using real quick. It is Downstar. There is the hardware. Still have to put a couple on. I was missing a few. I still have to get these bolted together, but as you can see, everything's just lining up really well. All of the gaps came together really nice. There's no waviness to anything. I just sprayed it off, so it's a little wet, but overall, I'm pretty happy with it. So let's get the other side bolted on, and then we'll pull it out, and I'll show you the whole thing, walk you around it. All right guys, there it is. We got the entire kit bolted on the car. Now there's a couple things I want to go over that can maybe help other people when they're thinking about doing something like this, painting a wide body kit, because there are a couple things that I will do differently next time for sure. Number one, as far as the booth goes, it worked out perfectly. I don't think I could have built it any differently to make it work better. All the fans were working. It was sucking out all of the overspray. Everything worked very well. The one thing I would change in the booth though is how many parts I'm painting at one time. I think I sprayed too many parts at one time, and it was just giving me a little bit of trouble when trying to get in and around every single corner and edge of this body kit. One example is on these over hood pieces, I wasn't really able to get the bottom side of this piece very well, and that is something you see when the hood is open. So I'm going to definitely be respraying those. Fortunately, those two pieces are the ones where I had deeper scratches in, which had to be fixed anyway, so that is a good thing. And that also leads me to point number two: prep. You really have to be so diligent when you're prepping these parts. I was rushing trying to get these done at night, or at least a couple of them, and I think I may have missed a couple of these deeper scratches. I thought I got them all. I sanded with 320, I wet sanded with 320, then 400. I did it by hand. One thing I would have done differently next time is to just go over it one more time with a palm sander, like a DA sander or something, just to make sure I got every single little scratch out. So it's not a big deal, but it is a learning experience, and I'm glad I went through this because now I know next time I think I can get a near perfect paint job if I was to do this again. As for point number 3, that's going to be paint quantity. Make sure you get enough paint. As you can see, I don't have the spoiler on this car. I ran a little bit short. It wasn't just the paint on this. I really just had no room left in the booth to paint the spoiler pieces, the wings, because they had to be like hung up somehow. So definitely make sure you get enough paint. If I was to do this again, I probably would have bought double the paint in the beginning and just sprayed 3 or 4 parts at the same time. Now, this car is silver, which everybody says, and I would probably agree, silver is probably one of the hardest colors to paint and match. Fortunately, with this Supra, there's really no metallics in this paint, so you don't really have to be careful about blending and making sure all your metallics flow evenly. So again, going back to that, painting a couple parts at one time, this silver makes it a little bit easier. And moving on to point number 4, one thing I would really urge you to do is put the time into the bodywork. I have, like, I would say maybe 60 hours in this kit alone just doing bodywork. But as you can see, all of my gaps just turned out very, very well all the way around this kit. I mean, everything is just perfect. Let me show you the other side here too. As you can see, just every single body line is consistent and even, and they all look really, really good. I have no waves or ripples in these fenders, which you can see when like the sunlight hits it. If it was a bad job, you'd see that, but I have nothing in here. So for these the few parts I do have to respray, it's gonna be no big deal. I'm gonna scuff them down with like a 600 grit, respray those real quick. Everything should match. I'm gonna get the exact same paint and then get this thing back together. But that's probably gonna do it for my tips as far as at-home painting goes. I'm sure there's other people on YouTube that can definitely give you more pointers than that, but that was just from my personal experience painting this wide body kit. I know there's a lot of people that try to do this at home, and it is possible. It really is. I mean, there's proof of it. You just have to really, really put in the time and do your research on painting, prepping, bodywork, everything. It has to be perfect or it will show. And these body kits are very expensive, so you want to make sure you put in the time. But that's probably going to do it for this video, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. It really means a lot. But as for the next video, guys, make sure you stay tuned because we are going to be doing like 4 or 5 pretty cool mods to this thing while we still wait for the wheels. They haven't shipped yet. They're supposed to be done any day now, and then we'll get those soon. But we're going to be doing a hood mod, a steering wheel mod, a roof mod, and an engine dress-up kit mod. So make sure you stay tuned. It's going to be pretty awesome. But until next time, guys, I will see you around. Peace.